Our big focus today is Karnataka. Today, Karnataka crossed 18,000 cases, a new one-day hike, a spike of 1,502 cases. But Bengaluru's COVID cases are going up. That's a big worry. Cases are doubling every 4 days. The growth rate is 18%, and this is based on the 3-day moving average. This spike began around the 27th. Local officials say this is because of a rationalization of cases.
In Bengaluru, a man who was turned away from at least 18 private hospitals died without being admitted to any of them. His test samples later showed him to be COVID positive. Notices have been sent to these hospitals, which include prominent ones, by the Karnataka Health Department. The notice says this was a clear violation of the requirement to provide medical assistance to people with COVID-19 or COVID-19-like symptoms. The municipality, the BBMP, claims there is no shortage of beds, only that coordination on allotment should be better. The opposition is attacking the state government. Former JDS Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy tweeted, "The government has failed to protect citizens." Karnataka and Bengaluru have seen a sharp spike in cases over the last few days. The city's doubling rate is now less than 1 week, much worse than it was at the beginning of June. The state government has been working to get thousands of hospital beds added for COVID treatment. Meetings with management of private hospitals and medical colleges have yielded a promise of 4,500 more beds.
Almost 60% of these beds are occupied by patients who are asymptomatic or very mildly symptomatic, and asymptomatic patients would be sent home unless there is no possibility in their home to be having a separate room.
Municipal officials want COVID testing laboratories to inform authorities first before letting patients know that they have tested positive. They say this is to help plan and allot hospital beds, rather than have patients running around from hospital to hospital. The race of getting infrastructure ready to keep pace with the inevitable increase in numbers is one the city cannot afford to lose. Maya Sharma in Bengaluru for NDTV.
Well, those are very worrying statistics. What's happening in Bengaluru? Why is it getting into a potential crisis situation? Joining us, Professor Giridhar Babu, Head of Life Course Epidemiology at PHFI in Bengaluru. Also joining us, Dr. Sudarshan Ballal, who is the Chairman of Manipal Hospitals. Thank you both very much for joining us. Dr. Ballal, let me come to you first. If you look at the numbers, June 2020 has seen the sharpest monthly rise in COVID cases. Why is this happening now in Bengaluru?
Good evening, Vishnu, and also to my co-panelist. Thank you for having me here. Karnataka and Bangalore particularly had done extremely well, as you rightly pointed out, till about the last week of June. We have had a sudden surge in the numbers of COVID. And a part of this started with sort of allowing interstate travel, and many patients with infections from other states have come in. To give you an example, we had a COVID-specific hospital in one of our chains in a place called Udupi, which had 0 cases for 2 months, and suddenly now it has 70 to 80 patients. And the private sector hardly had any patients in the last few weeks in Bangalore, but now we seem to have a huge number of patients. So I think there has been a spike for many reasons. And as Maya rightly pointed out, there seems to be a perception of shortage of beds. That is because primarily one is that we are admitting everyone who's positive for COVID to the hospital, whether they need it or not. In medical terms, certainly asymptomatic patients and mildly symptomatic patients would actually benefit from care at home with monitoring. It's not that we just dump them at home and not look after them, which would ease 80% of the beds in both the private and the government sector. Yeah. Obviously, there has to be some restriction on who gets home care.
Right.
First of
all, let me in fact ask Professor Babu that, do you agree that, as in the case of Delhi, where there are thousands of people with home care, that's what needs to be replicated in Bengaluru as well?
Yeah, so Vishnu, thanks for having me. Preventing mortality is the major goal. So therefore, beds with oxygen will have to be reserved for those who deserve it. And for that, home isolation of mild and asymptomatic people will be the best forward way to go. However, we have actually finalized the guidelines for home isolation, which has been probably the best in the country. And the cases are also increasing, Vishnu, because Bangalore is doing something called survey of influenza-like illness. Nearly 15% of all the cases are because of these surveys. And just in the month of June, the number of tests conducted is nearly 3 times more than what has been done in the earlier 3 months. So as a function of improved surveillance and enhanced testing, the cases have increased. However, this is not a cause of concern as of now, as long as we can handle preventing deaths.
Professor Babu, is there community transmission in Bengaluru?
Vishnu, for the entire country, there has not been a definition of what community transmission means. And there is no clear guideline either at the state level or at the national level.
But sir, it's a pretty basic understanding. If you are unable to trace where an individual got their infection from, it indicates that it's spread to the broader community. Contact tracing is not possible. So is that what you're seeing in many of these cases, as we've seen in many other parts of the country, that you're unable to get to the source of the infection?
Unlike what our authorities did during the lockdown, the contact tracing has been very poor after the lockdown has been lifted. Therefore, inability to trace the contacts is not same as not tracing the contacts. So a vast majority of the people contacts have not been traced because there is no manpower. The manpower has been utilized in arranging the beds. So once we know these details, we will be able to know whether we can define what is the extent of transmission. For me, according to the parameters I am seeing, it is a large outbreak that is amenable to containment as per the Government of India guidelines.
Dr. Bala, let's talk a little bit about containment. Is it time for Bengaluru to step up its containment strategy? For example, here in Delhi, what we've seen the government do at a time when cases really shot up is to have many more containment zones in the last couple of days and then attempt to go door to door and do tests or to figure out if people are unwell. So A, should there be an attempt to do some more door-to-door surveillance in Bengaluru? And number two, should containment zones be increased?
Certainly, I think areas where the incidence of COVID is very high, containment is needed, and Bangalore has increased the number of containment zones. But our priority right now is to make sure that beds are available for the very sick so that the mortality can be brought down. And we have suggested 3 things for this. One is, as rightly pointed out earlier, home isolation for people who can have it. For instance, if you live in a one tenement or a one room apartment with 4 or 5 people, home isolation is not possible. So there would have to be an inspection of the place and then make sure there's a separate room, a toilet, so on and so forth. And they have to also be created awareness about what home care and isolation is. Second is the government, in addition to with the help of the private sector, is also setting up large number of COVID care centers, which are medically supervised centers like hotels, wherein patients who are mildly asymptomatic or asymptomatic can be kept. So this would certainly ease the strain on the beds in the hospitals. So we can take every patient that needs care in our hospitals. One other very important point I want to make, Vishnu, is that which is there's something that's not been given enough importance. We have given a lot of importance to COVID as deserved, but in the process, I think we have neglected the non-COVID diseases, and patients with non-COVID disease should not get a stepmotherly treatment. Now, what happens is you set up more and more COVID hospitals, so non-COVID patients with illnesses like heart problems, kidney problems, cancer are finding it difficult to treat. And I certainly agree in the containment zones, probably a house-to-house survey and more testing is needed so that we prevent the spread of this disease and break the chain.
Well, I'd like to thank both of you very much for joining us. It is a matter of concern now in Bengaluru. Let's hope the situation gets under control sooner than later. Thanks very much indeed.